Hey! Okay, so I am Rosemary from The Busy Budgeter, and I am talking to you today because we kind of have a cool little deal going on. So, Bluehost, I worked at a deal with Bluehost where they're going to give you a hosting for $2.95 a month for 1 year, locked in rate. You only have to pay for 1 year at a time instead of 3 like most hosting companies make you do. In addition to that, they're going to throw in the free domain name, so you don't have to pay any additional money to get the domain name. And I'm going to give you the Blog Starter Workbook for free as part of this package, which means that you have everything that you need to start a blog this year for the entire year for less than $40, which is crazy. So this all happened, sorry, I got excited. So this all happened because we were getting a lot of emails from readers that were like, oh my gosh, I would love to start a blog. Like, this is my dream job. I want to do this so bad. But when I went to buy for hosting, they make you pay for 3 years up front because that's kind of like a hosting thing. They usually give you a little bit of a discounted rate, but they make you pay for 3 years. So it can be like over $200 when you factor in all of the things that you need to start a blog, right? So there's 3 basic things you need to start a blog. You need hosting, which is basically like real estate online, where you're gonna put your website. Then you need to get your domain name, which is like the name of your website. So like mine is like busybudgeter.com, like I own that name. And then the last thing that you need is you need something to teach you what to do with all of that other stuff you just bought, right? Assuming you don't know what you're doing, which you probably don't. So because of this, it can run a couple $100s to actually start a blog. So what we're doing is we're creating a 2-day flash sale. It started this morning, so it goes until tomorrow night at midnight, where you get everything that you need to blog for a year. Everything for less than $40, which is freaking insane. And the reason why we wanted to do that is because we know what your potential is, what your capacity is, but we have to actually get you to start. And isn't that like what it always is in life? Like, you actually have to start, but it's so hard because there's so many barriers. And it's like with a 3-year domain rating, I don't know what's wrong with me. When you buy your hosting for 3 years, that can be really hard, and that can be a huge barrier if you're not really sure if you like blogging, like if you've just really thought about it and you would love to do it, but you're not sure that you want to be invested in it for 3 years. This is a great way to start. So if this has been on your mind, you have to do this. This is a fantastic deal. If you wait even just a couple of days, you're going to end up paying so much more money. You can get everything that you need for $40 today. This is the way that you want to do it. So we need to come up with a name for you. The Blog Starter Workbook is going to do that as well, but if you want some advice now, we can go over some stuff. So the first thing you want to do is figure out what niche you want to be in. A couple of niches that are really popular are, I've got a list here so don't forget any. Fitness, frugal living, parenting, relationships, business, health and wellness, travel. And then there's 3 that have like side notes that I want to talk about. Food is also a niche. However, you have to have really strong photography skills in food because you can't just rely on free stock photos. Like, you actually have to bake something or create something and then take a picture. The same wording comes with DIY or crafts. Like, you could have a knitting blog or a DIY crafts blog, but you need to have photography skills in order to be successful at that. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to have photography skills right now. That could be something that you work on in addition to blogging, but I just want you to understand that's gonna be a little bit harder than the other niches because you're gonna have that extra work there. The last type is deals or shopping blogs. You don't need your own stock photography or anything like that there, but the only thing that I want you to think about with that niche is that you're gonna work a lot harder than all of the other bloggers. Meaning that I can schedule posts out 6 months in advance, and we routinely do. With deals, you are constantly churning out things as the deals come up. So like all of the things, like I just talked to a deal blogger a little bit ago. She had 3 years worth of the posts that are all useless. She's not going to get any extra traffic out of them. She can't use them in emails. She can't do anything with them because you're constantly having to churn out new content, and anything you wrote before is just like done. Versus in my business where I talk about budgeting, like I routinely take the best emails that I've ever had, and I make sure that all of my new subscribers get them because they were so well received before. So I have a lot of like content that I can reuse, and they don't have that option. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't do a deal blog if that's where your passion is, but I do want you to think about the fact that it might be a little bit more work than other blogs or other niches. Okay, so once you have that, we want to narrow your focus. And I want to give you a little bit of a warning here. I don't want you to overly think about this or stress this too much. I just want you to know once you get your niche, like about which direction you want to take it in. I'll give you the best example I can think of would be in the fitness niche, right? So in the fitness niche, you're going to have two major differences of people that you can help in there. You're either going to be helping people who are like crunchy granola, do CrossFit 5 times a week, like eat green smoothies for breakfast, or you're going to be helping people who are maybe morbidly obese, who are really, really trying to be healthy and they don't know where to start and they're really overwhelmed and they're really struggling. So the way that you would talk to those two different people and the way that you would relate to them and give them advice are totally different, right? You cannot teach someone who is morbidly obese how to drink green smoothies every day because they're just not interested in that. They're needed a couple baby steps up from that. So same thing with frugal living, which is the niche that I'm in. You have two different areas. So half of the people in frugal living are into like making their own bread. They have chickens so that they don't have to buy eggs. They may have a cow so they don't have to buy milk. And then the other side of that is they make a lot of money, but they spend a lot of money, and it's probably on Erin Condren planners and, you know, Coach bags, not necessarily the best purchases. So those two different type of people, and you know, if the Coach bag person ends up in fast food 5 times a week, you cannot talk to them about baking bread and buying a cow. Like that's not a thing that they're interested in. They're not really into homesteading. They're into kind of reducing spending, but still having this really fabulous, amazing life so that they don't feel like they're missing out. So again, two different focuses, both in frugal living. Now, you don't need to know exactly who you're talking to right now. The Blog Starter Workbook is going to walk you through all that. But when you choose your name, I want you to start thinking about what the end game is going to be. Meaning that if you know that you really want to talk to crunchy granola moms, then we should probably think about what words that woman would relate to in your name versus if you're trying to talk to people who are morbidly obese. That's the kind of idea. All right, so once you get that kind of thinking, start turning those thoughts around, then we're gonna brainstorm keywords. And what I want you to do is I want you to take like a blank piece of paper, just like this, and I want you to fill it with every single word that relates to your topic. And it doesn't have to be like a really, really close fit. So like in budgeting, one of my words was family. And smart, like no, those two words aren't directly related to budgeting, but they're ideas around budgeting that I wanted to talk about. So list every single keyword that makes you think of that word, okay, or that topic. And then what I want you to do is start randomly combining them into groups of 2 and 3 and start seeing what they're like as a name. So I want to give you some examples. So for budgeting, right, when I started, I was looking at like smart, money, calculator, family, busy, budgeting, all of those ideas. And then when you start combining them, it would be like smart family calculator, smart family money, let's see, family calculator, like, so you get the idea. Now, obviously, I want you to fill a whole page up with these keywords, so you're gonna have a lot more combinations than I do. Once you get a couple of combinations that you really, really like as a name, I want you to go to Bluehost. I'll leave a link below for this particular deal. And you can type in that name to see if it's available. If it's available, buy it quickly because you don't want somebody else to grab it. And then the other thing is that you want to make sure you get in on this deal before the prices raise. You want to get it when it's $40 and not when it's $200. So if you have any questions, you can leave comments below, and I'm going to monitor these until probably tomorrow when I go to bed, like 8 or 9 or something. Okay, so I hope that helped. If you have any questions, reach out, and I will talk to you later. Bye.